Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another fiery-ass episode of the Men's Physique Show. Let's go! I got hailing out of a little island that used to hold a bunch of convicts called Australia. Our boy, the most criminal-minded of them all.
That's you,
the
Phil.
Australian boy to Men's Physique. Avon.
Filthy Phil.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go, Phil. Let's go.
And drinking some of that tiger blood out of Thailand. Our boy, Mick Gravy, always waiting. Look at him drenched in all the aura and all the allure. You know him. Heart McGrath, the heartbeat of Men's Physique. Let's go, baby.
It's hot as hell over there. Cool that man down.
And it's your boy out of Hotlanta, Aleem Bolton, the gaffer, a lean-like team. So you can always get it right, similar to a dream. That's right, baby. We got a great episode, a great show coming up this weekend. Hart, what we got, man? What we got going on?
If you mess up my boy Aleem's name one more time, you're banished. You're banished from the Men's Physique multiverse. We got one major pro show this weekend.
You got one more again.
One more again. That's damn right, baby. We got one pro show. That pro show is the Los Angeles Grand Prix. We have some returning convicts to that show. Obviously, the front runner, we'll get into it. I'm going to pause there, but I just want to hear the convict, the Indian convict. I want to hear from the man himself, Mr. Avon. Yeah, we're off the rails already. Phil, how excited are you in your gut for this show this weekend?
Yeah,
guys, if you haven't seen the lineup, man, is that not the most stacked lineup we've seen? We've got Amit, we've got Dan, we've got Farouq, we've got guys that are returning from the Wasatch Pro, we've got guys that competed in the Puerto Rico Pro. There's guys who are touching distance from the Olympia qualification. It's going to be a massive show, guys. That's all I'm saying.
Agreed.
Massive show. Massive show.
Look at those
2026 LA Grand Prix. Let's read them off real quick. We got Amit Agre, Muhammad Al-Kindi, Andre Benson, Alexander Brown, Emerson Costa, Ricardo Croci. Phil, say that name a little better for me.
Ricardo Croci.
Thank you, my Italian brother. We got Devin Carrion. That was another one. Phillipe Degilla, Chris Deha, Myron Griffin, Jamal Hill, Dan Aleem, say that biblical name for me. Dan Ibrahim. Let's go. Farouq Ishimoto, Danny Long, and Thomas Riley. Wow. Let's talk about your top three. If you're playing Physique League, make sure you get your picks in. The Gaffa, Avomp, myself, we're all playing this week. I'll tell you boys right now who I got. I got Amit placing first. I got Ishimoto right behind him. And in third place, I have Kenz. Gaffa, who's your top three?
I got Amit. I got Farouq. And then I got Jamal Hill in third, bro.
Phil hasn't dropped his top three yet, so we'll wait there. But let's get into this. Let's talk about the man of the hour, the Gaffa. I'm going to throw it over to you first. No one in history has ever got an interview between prejudging and finals. I don't know how you bribed him or whatever you did to get that interview, but you did. Amit Agre's coming into this show, second place to Carlos Ocron. Carlos is no longer there. Emmanuel Hunter is no longer there. Why is Amit Agre the favorite this week?
Brother, let me tell you, there's a variety of reasons why he's the favorite right now. Let's start with momentum. He's got it. He's going into this show right now with 3 shows that he's done, and he's moved up the ranks every single show. He's gone from 4th at the Charlotte Pro to 3rd at the Tri-City. Wasatch came in 2nd, and now he has an opportunity to come in 1st. I think that it's destiny for him. He has said this way back at the Charlotte Pro, what his trajectory was going to look like. He's right on course for it. And another thing about him, what I really, really love, the posing in the front. He already had a sweet front pose, right? Beautiful transitions with this little, flex that he does of the chest to really bring out the striations in his chest. I know there was someone who was talking about striations in our feed and all, but striations is yes, how you say it, which we say correct. And his front pose right now is it makes him look wider. It makes him look more complete. It brings out more detail because, like Amit said in the little interview that we had in between the prejudging and the finals, by pushing down now, having that one hand on the hip, he can actually connect with the abs and with his core even better. And that's a little adjustment that Cuts made while he was there on the spot to really get this right. So it was something that he didn't think about. I remember way back yonder, we had talked about this pose and one hand on hip. It's great that he and Cuts have now decided to move in this direction. And according to Amit, this is always going to be his front shot. But then when he turns to the back, the guy's got an incredible, nice balance from the front to the back. He could get wider, agreed, but lots of detail in the back. You know, this pose right here, boom, right to the hand on hip. Boom, look at the flex. I love that transition. Really, really nice. Shows off and accentuates all the obliques, the intercostal muscles, the serratus, everything. And then goes into this back pose right here. Stays wide. Notice how he stays wide, guys. He doesn't pinch or anything. He's staying wide in his transition into the back pose, which already put like 80% of the guys out there make themselves leaner when I'm talking NPC and pro. He stays wide. You want to stay wide in the shot. And then the detail. He's got beautiful detail. You don't see the wrinkles in the back and everything. That's muscle. That's definition. Boom. He's starting to settle into it. Boom, boom, boom. Does a nice little ghost pose. Goes back into it. And this move right here. Boom. Hands behind. This is such a smooth. And then the way he looks up, gives a little smirk. I mean, the guy's just polished. He had the nice glaze on because Cuts was there to make sure that he was properly glazed, the right tan, the right color tan. And he just looked amazing, man. I love the shorts also, the Manifest board shorts. You know, I always talk about those because board shorts make such a difference, especially playing against the backdrop of the screen that you're going to be in. So, you know, my humble opinion, if you're a pro, NPC guy, you want to bring a few different board shorts, a few different colors so that, you know, you can see what they look like against the backdrop of a show, which is what he does and what a lot of top pros do, you know? So kudos to him. But, you know, not only that, the guy's got nice hair. So we can't forget about the hair. We can't forget about the look. He's just polished, you know, top to bottom, put the work in, and I like what he's looking like. Phil, what you got while I eat my new pinky cookie from Freshly Baked Alpha Cookies? I got this cookie from E-Man. He shared it with me and Carlos. And this is that cookie. So I'm about to act a fool over here, guys. What you got, Phil?
Firstly, you got to tell me how that cookie is because I'm a massive cookie fan. Are these those like are they high protein cookies?
That's it.
Or they just...
Yes, this is Alpha Cookies, bro. You pulled it.
Yeah,
So
I saw E-Man eating them. I saw Liz. I think Liz was having them as well. I think these cookies are doing the rounds in the IFBB world. So when I get to the States, and when you go to the States as well, we got to definitely try those cookies out for sure.
Banging,
I'm keen
to
try them out.
This thing is banging.
In terms of Amit, man, I'm so impressed by this guy. I mean, week in, week out, he's getting sharper and sharper and sharper. He's getting better and better and better. I love the fact that he's now transitioned. He's got that front pose the way that it is. Just looking at the side-by-side shot, I know he had like a post, I think it was in his story, this one here. Look, his waist actually looks blockier now that you see it with his hand on hip. And that's the funny thing about bodybuilding. That's the funny thing about poses. Like, it creates an illusion where now just by putting that hand on his hip and closing that gap a little bit, his waist actually looks even smaller in that the hand on hip pose, which is great. He looks a lot more statuesque as well. This could be a trophy. If some trophy company wanted a men's physique trophy to present in the US or in Asia or in India, that's what you want. Get that mold, put some metal in it, put some titanium, gold, bronze, whatever it is, make a statue. I like the way that Anik looks. Not Anik. See, I can't even get the names right anymore. Amit. I like the way that Amit looks with that. His core looks insane. The bubbliness of his delts. His arms are full. His chest is good. His posing is great. The shorts. One thing I love about what Amit said in the interview is the fact that he matches, like you said, Gaff, matches the shorts with the backdrop. Now, going into the LA show this weekend, I don't know the colorway. By the looks of one of the posts that I saw, I think it's like a blue background. So I'm pretty certain Manifest has a pair of blue board shorts or with the blue sort of V on it. I know I've got a pair of them. So is he going to rock those ones? We should do a little poll with this man here. We've just seen what color shorts do you think he's going to wear on the day? I don't know if maybe put in the captions or in the comments below. That could be a good little starting point. But yeah, looking forward to seeing him back on stage. 3 shows in a row. Like you said, Gaffer's getting better and better and better every single weekend. Is this the one where he finally gets that pro show win in the States? I know that's his mission. He's not going home until he gets that pro show win. So could this be the weekend that he gets it done? Hart, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, Amit clearly would be the favorite. He's still the favorite. If you guys looked over on Physique League, Amit threw it in his story. He has himself as the favorite, obviously. But there's a guy coming out of Japan who is extremely, extremely competitive. Yes, he just did a show and he was the only guy at that show, Avomp. But even though he was the only guy at that show, as you can see on my picks here, I still have him in second place. I still have him placing that high because he looks really, really good from head to toe, the balance, the legs. This guy brought it. Me and the boys horde, the men's physique community, you guys watching this, thank you so much. Make sure you drop a like, a subscribe, hit the bell. We were talking about how he scared the competition. We're joking. Right? Obviously, he didn't scare the competition. There was some issues with what was going on, but he brought such a good package. It made it seem like the other competitors were scared. Avomp, I know you like this guy's look. What does Ishimoto, or is there anything that he can do to actually beat Amit Agre this weekend?
What can he do? I mean, he's a great poser. We know Amit's a great poser. He's got the look. Amit's got the look. It's going to be a battle of who the judges like on the day. Like, this guy's a little bit more streamlined. Amit is a little bit bigger, looks a little bit fuller as well. This guy is, I was going to swear, he's sharp. He is absolutely dialed. And, like we said in earlier episodes, and we've joked about, like, did he scare the competition away? Maybe, maybe not. But if I'm keen to see what this guy looks like up against the rest of the pack. He's going to be up against Dan Ibrahim, who won last week. He's going to be against Amit, who's chasing that win. He's going to be up against Emerson Costa, an Olympian. He's going to be up against multiple Ricardo Croce, another Olympian. He's going to be Muhammad Al-Kindi. He's going to be up against some really, really good names. Like, yes, he looks phenomenal. He looks insane. He's going to scare a lot of guys on that stage this weekend. But I want to see where he stands up against the rest of the pack. But in my eyes, for me, it's going to be very, very close between these two. If this guy nails it, if Amit nails it, hopefully, obviously the flight over from Japan, this guy doesn't hold any water and he's able to drain the water out and the fluid, and he brings the best package that we've seen. I want to see a package just like this. I want to see a package, better than this, if possible. I think it could be possible because obviously he competed, I think it was about 3 to 4 weeks ago. He's going to be sharper than what he was in Taiwan. So yeah, I'm keen to see it. Like I said, whoever wins this show, if it is Farouq, if it is Amit, I don't think anyone in the world will be mad about that. But hey, there's a big roster. Anyone could win this one. I'm not going to say it's going to be between those two. It's anyone's game. But Gaffer, you've seen this guy many times before. We've commentated about him. What are your thoughts about Farouq?
Man, he's got such a dope name. He's got like a black name and the Japanese name all wrapped into one, right? Farouq Ishimoto. I mean, it's such a dope name that he has. Speaking of dope, when I look at his physique, man, his physique, like you said, Phil, it's balanced. I mean, nice calves. Hart loves calves, right? Great calves. They say that if you got nice calves, you're supposed to have a long, strong heart for the rest of life. You should live a long time. He actually checks that box. He's got nice quads. You can see the separation, hence why he's wearing them tight ass shorts and everything, right? Because the legs are just protruding and bursting out of those shorts, right? Pause. Going up in the physique, that's where we start to see a little bit of a difference between him and Amit. And this is what I mean. He's got definition like Webster for sure, right? The obliques, again, the serratus, everything is there. It just could be the lighting. Here, it's not as etched as what I see with Amit. I think Amit just has a little bit more pop to that midsection than Farouq does. Obviously, we'll see the day of the show. But when we move up to the chest, also, his chest isn't as pronounced and as bubbly at this stage right now in this shot as Amit's, right? It's just not as pronounced right now. And I think he needs to develop that a little bit more. The other thing is the clavicle. From one end of the shoulder to the other end of the shoulder, Amit is just a little bit wider. He's a little bit more narrow than Amit. He's done a great job with the shoulders. Love the arms. Love how the arms streamlining into the shoulders. I think it's a perfect look, especially for him with the shoulder to arm ratio, with the delts to arm ratio. Looks really, really good. That screams men's physique to me. When he turns around to the back, that's where I have another challenge. Notice how when Amit does that same pose, you see everything really pop in the chest. Here, right there. Can you go back just a little bit, Hart? You might have to go all the way back through. But when he goes into the back pose, he pinches and he goes really narrow and then goes wide, and he doesn't have the widest back. So for me, right here, when you start going into it, it's like that Henderson squeeze kind of thing going on here. He gets so narrow and then goes wide, but he doesn't really have a wide enough back. I'd like to see him wider in that transition into the face the curtain pose. I like to see him stay wide because he's not a wide guy. Carlos Ocron can get away with it. Someone like E. Banks can get away with it. Emmanuel Hunter, like guys who have really wide backs can do that, and they can afford to pinch because there's so much width in those lats and in the rhomboids and everything. They can get away with it, but for him, I just think that that's not the right transition pose for him, and I think that that's what's going to expose him. So hopefully, maybe he sees this before he goes on the show. Maybe he makes the adjustment. And then the last thing is, I've seen him do this pose two different ways. Sometimes when he goes into the back pose, he keeps his arms up a little higher. Here, they look good. Your fist are right around where the belly button, the lower lats are. Your elbows are really more towards your upper lats. You want to see that kind of balance. I'd have his forearms come in a little bit to take away some of that gap between the lats and the arms, because again, he doesn't have the widest back. So I think that transition into the back and the difference in the chest is going to be the differentiator between him and Amit, but a phenomenal poser, a great physique that streamlines. Again, second place in this lineup, in my humble opinion, if he gets second, he might even get first, but if he gets second, is no knock at all. I mean, anyone who's in the top three at this LA, I mean, it's a stacked lineup, is doing their damn thing. So I like to see it, man. I can't wait to see him on Saturday and see how it performs. Hart, what do you think of the look with Farouq?
I think you boys nailed it, man. He has that true men's physique look that the judges like, that the fans like. No matter where you are in the world as a fan, you love men's physique, you're going to love Farouq's look. I love the name. It's totally an Asian black name, 100%. He looks Asian and black. I don't know if he is or not. I don't know if he has flags in his bio. Sometimes you can tell kind of, with the flags. But yeah, I love his look. I think the only areas he could be lacking when it comes to him versus Amit is, like you said, is the chest. It looks a little bit shallow, especially in the upper chest. Can he come in fuller in the chest and have a chest to try and match Amit? I think Amit's chest is superior to his. I don't think it's going to be better than Amit's, but can he bring in a fuller chest to help him out? I hope so. Yeah. I love the core. I love the abs. I love the obliques. I love the streamlined waist. The legs are going to expose Amit, I believe, on stage a little bit. Amit has nowhere near the calves, quads, hamstrings, glutes as Farouq. And from the back, they both don't have the best back and detail width. I'm going to give to Amit. Can Farouq bring out a little bit more detail, a little bit more separation? Who's going to come in more condition? You guys see, Horde. You guys see, thank you for being here once again. You guys see why these guys are probably going to be top two for sure in the top three. Let's move on to third place. Avomp, I'm going to throw it over to you first. Let's go back to Physique League. Remember, drop in your picks, boys. Third place, who we think is going in third. So we talked about Amit. We talked about Farouq Ishimoto. We have Dan. A lot of people have Dan coming in, or at least in that top three. A lot of people have Jamal in that top three. I saw a couple Ricardo Croces, Myron Griffin. Guys, I want to quickly speak about Myron Griffin. Do you recognize that name at all? Because this guy is a multi-time Olympian. He's like Mr. Wasatch. I haven't seen him compete in a few years, but he brings a really nice, grainy, streamlined look to the stage. And when this guy's on, he's on. He has a small waist and a really nice men's physique look. Again, we haven't seen him compete a lot in a while, but I've seen him kick multiple top 15 Olympians' asses come show day. Avon, what do you know about Myron Griffin?
To be honest with you, I don't actually know too much about Myron, to be honest with you. This is probably one of the first times his name's really stood out to me. Like, I mean, he's obviously competed at the Arnold, he's competed at the Olympia as well. But he does have a really, really good physique. I mean, you know, he's got nice broad shoulders, nice arms, nice capped delts. You know, the waist, I mean, I think he can manipulate his posing a little bit to make his waist look a little bit smaller. But I think the last time he competed was 2023. So he's been out of the game for 3 years. So, and I don't think he's uploaded any sort of updates as to what he was doing over the last couple of, let's say, the last 12 months leading into this show. So based on his look, I mean, he's got what it takes to stand up against the best. For you to qualify for the Olympia, you've got to be a damn good competitor, especially, you know, this day and age. Like, you know, last year we had 70-odd competitors, but how many people were chasing that qualification around the world? Not that many. A lot of people were chasing qualification to qualify at the Olympia. So for you to be honored and be able to grace the Olympia stage, you got to be someone that you got to kind of keep your eye out on. But I'm keen to see what this guy looks like, you know, this weekend. Like I said, 3 years off the stage. Have improvements been made? Has he kept the physique the exact same? I don't know. I haven't seen any updates leading up to this point. But yeah, really, really happy for him to jump back on stage after a 3-year hiatus.
I love how you touched on that, Phil. Aleem, I'm going to have you pick a guy, and I know you like Jamal Hill's physique. You have him actually in your top 3, so let's pop over to Jamal really quick. Prodigy Physiques is his name. And Aleem, you tell us why you have Jamal Hill. Definitely a dark horse of the show in your top 3. What is it about Jamal that can actually get him in the top 3 here?
Well, Jamal Hill plays top 3 in the Tri-City. So let's start there. I mean, it was Carlos Okran, it was Amit Agre, and then it was Jamal Hill. He has, you know, just really, really wild proportions for a guy of his size. Let's start with the front. One of the issues that Jamal had is initially when I saw him, he didn't have enough glaze on, and he took care. I mentioned something to him in passing about his glaze. They went and fixed that. He looked really, really good. And glaze makes you pop. So when you don't have glaze on your chest, Amit Agre had the same thing. It might have been, you know, the tanners when they do a little touch up right before you get on the stage. It might have been that, you know, someone just wasn't, maybe the lighting was off or so, but a couple of the guys were coming back, not really with that pop with the glaze, and he changed that. So that's something that you definitely want to do. Jamal Hill, what's unique about him is he has these really bubbly muscle bellies. The chest in particular, like his chest, the pectorals don't sit low, but they pop out and they sit high. And it is a good look the way he streamlines into his shoulders, into his delts, and his arms. That ratio is streamlined perfectly. Then what I absolutely like is his ab cage. It's got like this crescent thing that it does because his waist is so damn small. Like, look at that thing, how it bellows in. It goes concave on the when you look at it from the side like that, and the muscle bellies just pop. Pure striation. This picture doesn't even do it justice when you see it up in person, because it literally looks like all they did was take like paint and just painted a light coat of paint over the actual muscle tissue itself. He's so peeled. So he looks incredible. I mean, you can see what that rear delt, how that thing is just going bonkers over there with the striations. The other thing, the problem that he had, in my humble opinion, number one, and we talked about this, and I think he's made the changes. He told me he's made the changes with his coach, is he seems to crunch down too much. So he's crunching down in that front pose, and you need to keep your chest up. So if he has his chest up, believe in your conditioning. When your conditioning is on point, your abs are going to be there. You don't have to worry about crunching down on your abs. You actually look smaller than you should. You look more pronounced on stage when you keep your chest up and sitting up. Okay. So they're making some changes there. They saw it also. That's the first thing that I had mentioned. And I'm glad that they're going to make the change. The other thing I think is he's got really big legs for his size, right? He's got nice quads, great quad sweep and everything. You could tell the man, it doesn't run from leg day at all. I would bring the shorts down a little bit, because you could have great legs, but you want to stay proportioned. So if your legs are overpowering your upper body, it's going to throw off your balance. Remember, men's physique is about balance and symmetry and flow and everything else that comes along with it, right? I like the definition in his back. I think that he does really, really well. Of course, he could add more density to the back for sure, but the width sits nice for his look. And he has such a small waist that it just streamlines nice. You see a guy like Edmond Palmera who has a very, very small waist and a similar back where the lats are really pronounced up top, but the lower lats didn't really hit until this year. If you look at some of Edmond Palmera's updates, you can see that his lower lats have come in and he's looking fucking phenomenal. But Jamal Hill, man, I mean, the guy is like a cartoon character in terms of shred. He has zero waist. You could literally take your wedding ring off and put it right around his waist and he could do the hula hoop. The guy looks crazy. And that's why I got him in third, man. I think that, the competition that's going to be here, he should be able to beat them based off of his posing, his look, his cuts, the conditioning, all of the above.
Phil, I'm going to give it to you. You got Dan Ibrahim or Ricardo Croce slipping into that third if one of them does it. Who do you want me to pull up?
Pull up Dan.
Dan Ibrahim. Cool. Let's break down Dan Ibrahim. Coming off his very first pro show win. He needs one more to qualify for the Mr. Olympia. I'm sure this guy is still on cloud 9. Phil, what does Dan Ibrahim need to do to get in the top 3? And is it even possible?
I think it is possible. I mean, he showed us last week what he is capable of doing. I mean, to win the Puerto Rico Pro over there, he beat, George Brown. He beat Quincy over there as well. So I think this guy has made a statement in the division. A lot of people kind of wrote him off. They said, he's too big for the division, so on and so forth. But I feel like this guy has shown the world that he is men's physique. He does have what it takes to, win the pro show and, beat some of the best athletes in the world. The one thing that he needs to remember, and we've spoken about this a couple of times, is just that front pose. We know that he's fixed up the back pose. He's able to present the thickness and the width and the density and the definition in the back really, really nicely now. It's just that front pose that I believe, and I think the rest of the boys believe, that he needs to change. When he hit that one hand on hip for that split second during this routine that he was doing, he looked so much better. His waist looked smaller. He had more of a V taper. When he just dangles his arms, it does look a little bit awkward. I don't know if that's his pose. Right there, you can see he closes the gaps, with his hand on his hip. His waist looks a little bit smaller. His shoulders now a little bit more wider as well. It just brings more pop, it brings that body, and he presents, I'm talking too fast now. He presents it really, really nicely when he has that hand on hip. So I believe he does have what it takes. He's obviously up against Amit. He's up against Farouq. He's up against a couple of Olympians that are on his tail as well. But very similar to what you said, Gaffer, about Amit going into this show, this guy's got momentum. He's coming off a pro show win. He knows that he's got one foot on that plane to Vegas. He's never done it before. This is his opportunity to really cement himself as a men's physique athlete, one of the best men's physique athletes in the world. And the minute he does that, the minute he wins that second pro show, I think he's going to silence a lot of the haters. And Umzi, mate, I love this thing. I don't know how he does this AI generated.
Bro, he killed it. He does so great, right?
I love it, man.
I got to comment right now. I gotta show him a little love. Keep going, Phil.
No, I'm done. Gaffer, what do you think about Dan?
Man, I like Dan's look for sure. From just a natural physique, and we said eons ago that when he wasn't on G, he looked incredible, and then I think that the G just made him blow up so much, and the division wasn't ready. And I think now they're allowing, as you can see, Carlos Okran himself, a lot of other guys who are just bigger and denser now getting the wins and getting the love. Now, granted, you compare it to who's on stage and who shows up. Ask Farouq, right? No one shows up. You get the W, right? But when I look at both of these guys, I go with Amit because, the question becomes, can Dan get out of routine? That's number one. Number two, that's plagued him for such a long time. I mean, it's been years now. People have been talking about his posing. So I don't know within a week he can make up the grounds in order to have this as muscle memory. It even seemed like it was foreign to him when he put the hand on hip for a quick second, and then he never went back to it. Like he went to the back, came back to the front, and he never went back to it. So I just think that Amit has more of that focus, that discipline. Not to say that Dan's not focused. He absolutely is, and I'm not saying that he's not. But I just think that in order to execute the proper pose in the moment when the spotlight's on you and you've got to do comparisons and conditioning comes into factor, and they're making you spin around and stand on stage longer and, hold the poses longer and everything, you can go back to your old habits. And that's what I think would be the deterrent for Dan, is the old habits. Phenomenal physique. We've been saying for a long time now that, this guy, if put together correctly and presented correctly, again, Dan is a classic example. You could have the best physique, but if you don't know how to present it right, you're not going to maximize your place and your position in the division. So, or any division for that matter, whether it's men's physique, open, classic, 212, bikini, doesn't matter. So Dan's attitude is spot on. He's a great guy, humble guy. Can't wait to have him on the show for sure. And wishing him luck. But I don't know if he can cover that ground. So what do you think, McGravy?
This is what I think. I think you guys are forgetting about my third place man entering the show, Mr. Kenz. Phillipe.
Yeah,
How do we not have Kenz? He just got a third place finish. Can he do it again? So this seems like there's going to be, the top three. We're talking about Ishimoto. We're talking about Amit Agre for that top 2 spot. Both those guys, they have good backs, but they don't have great backs. When you think about Kenz, he doesn't have a great back, but his front is pretty freaky, especially if he can turn the waist enough to get it going. Again, the chest is beautiful, the shoulders, the waist, again, it's not the smallest waist, but if he can manipulate it enough, it can be a good look for him. I just think overall, this guy just has a really cool look, a really nice men's physique look. The width still needs to be added to the back. We talk about it every single week, but if there's a guy that can get into that third place spot, like he knows. He's posting photos of where his back is looking more legit. He knows what he needs to work on. I just look at this and I just see aesthetics. I see if Kenz comes in peeled, if he comes in with a little better posing, better stage presence, like he already won the show. Like, look at that. That's a top 3 type physique, if you ask me. That's why I have Phillipe, Carlos's Ocron's brother, by the way, not his real brother, but his homie. That's why I have Kenz in the top 3. He just had a decent placing at Wasatch, getting third. He hasn't competed all season long. Third place right behind Carlos and Amit. I got him in third place for this show. Beautiful. We talked about a lot of guys on the roster. Phil, go ahead.
You know who I want to shout out? I want to shout out Gilko. Because, man, I don't know if anyone saw the live stream over the weekend at Wasatch. You see the photos. You saw the quality of the lighting there. Gilko was in charge of the whole production there. And I'm telling you, what those guys were able to do, these guys gave these athletes every opportunity to present the best physique. Like, take a look at these photos, take a look at the videos, take a look at the live stream, take a look at everything. This is the standard. This is the quality that these athletes deserve. Not dim lighting, not dark lighting where they get washed out. This, you can tell Gilko put a lot of work into this. I know they're doing the production at the Hunter Classic later in the year. I know they're also doing the production at the at the Gold's Gym Classic as well. So guys, if you haven't signed up, or if those shows weren't on your radar, whether you're an NPC guy wanting to do the Hunter Classic, or you're a pro or an NPC guy wanting to do the Gold Gym Classic, make sure you sign up for those shows, because I can guarantee you, you're going to have the best production, you're going to have the best photos, you get the best live stream to show your friends and family all around the world. Guys, sign up for those shows.
And the best commentating. You neglected to mention that. If you want to get famous, if you want to be famous and you want to be known, or you are known and want to be even more famous, you're going to do one of those shows, because the Men's Physique boys will be in the house.
In the building.
The Men's Physique show will be in the house in both of those shows. So
just made history. First social media team, first YouTubers, first online guys in history to ever live commentate for the Men's Physique division. That's pretty cool. That's thanks to the Horde. That's thanks to your guys' support. Subscribe. Let's move on, boys. That was the Los Angeles Grand Prix happening this weekend. Go play Physiquely. Pit picks will close Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Let's get into the Pittsburgh Pro, the New York Pro. Which one's first? What do we got?
New York 3 weeks.
New York is the first massive show. Isai Kesek
He just wants to be classic so bad, bro. Look at.
I know, bro. Every time he posts this, I love it, but I get so pissed off. I'm like, bro, stop hinting like you're gonna go into classic physique, because you would do damn well in classic physique if you ever committed to that and
we're gonna get him a pause towel.
We need to.
Literally.
We need to make those, actually. We need to make those pause towels. I saw a comment. Some guy was asking for apparel. Maybe the pause towel needs to be there.
That might be the first thing we come out with. Yeah,
maybe.
Let's talk about him playing soccer. Phil, you've been on this video for a while. You've had it in the archives. You've been looking at it late at night. You've been doing your thing to this video. Tell us about Isai Kesek playing soccer with the shirt off in these tiny little shorts.
Talk to me about it. Do you blame me? Oh, let's be real.
No,
do you blame me?
You know me. You know me. I don't blame you at all.
That's what I'm saying, man. Look at this. Best looking bloody soccer player that I've ever seen. Most jacked soccer player that I've ever seen. Isai. Take it easy with those step overs, brother. You got 3 weeks until the New York Pro. Look, he's flicking his foot around. Take it easy, brother. We need to see you on stage. But man, the guy's an athlete. We saw his vertical leap when he was playing volleyball. Now he's juggling a soccer ball like nothing. 3 weeks before the show. I mean, a lot of people at this point would be gone, depleted, tired, exhausted. This guy looks like he's just turned it up a notch. Kicking a soccer ball around. I don't know if that's his cardio.
Fathers and sons, where are you at?
Is that not?
I mean, that's the look right there.
This is not fathers and sons.
It looks just like it though.
We know what he's doing. Fathers and is fathers and sons tagged there somewhere? Surely they have to be. But man, this guy looks good.
I'll do it.
You have to. This guy looks damn good, man. Like, he's ready to put on a show. He sees the competition. He sees the updates from the other guys. He sees Ali Bilal, Erin Banks, Kyron Holden. Now we've got what's his name? Francisco Martinez. We've got Paul Gustavo. Yeah. We've got a whole lineup. The mini Olympia is about to go down, and I'm telling you, these guys are going to make sure that it's a mini Olympia. Based on this show, I feel like what the judges judge on at this show is going to be the standard for the rest of the year. This is where it gets decided. This is where the criteria gets molded. This is where you see the look and the shape and the structure.
Which one, New York or Pittsburgh?
Both. I'm saying both. It's going to be the same lineup of both of them, I would assume. But this is going to be the show that everyone wants to look out for. I can guarantee Ryan Terry, Brandon Hendrickson are going to be front row at both of these shows, looking at the competition, seeing how they look. We know that Brandon's going to start his prep, I think, next week. Ryan said he's starting his prep in a couple of weeks, which we're going to talk about in a second. So these guys want to see the competition, and these guys are going to set the standard for the rest of the season. But Isai Kesek, man, this guy, he's ready to shake it up. He's my dark horse in this show, in both shows, actually, the New York Pro and the Pittsburgh Pro. So, he looks damn good. Gaffer.
I got to agree with you, boys. I mean, when he hits the stage, he's got 8 abs. Okay, so let's start there. He's got like that little abs that's tucked right underneath the pectorals, right? It goes crazy. His lats, the insertion on the lats are just genetically a marvel to look at. They look really, really awesome. Wide, broad clavicle. He's got a full chest. Like the way he's posing right there, the way he's standing doesn't even do his chest justice. He looks flat there, actually, compared to some of the other shots that we've seen of him where his chest is even fuller. But this is a guy, man, who, he lives and breathes bodybuilding. When I say live and breathe bodybuilding, I'm talking about the guys who measure, their food is all measured out. These are the guys who are conscientious of not only how many hours of sleep they get at night, but how many hours of sleep they get during the day. They go and work out, they go home, they eat, they go to sleep. They wake up, they eat, they go to the gym, work out, come back, eat, they go to sleep. They have a little bit of play in between, and that's about it, man. But these guys are like living and breathing what's considered to be a pretty boring life, unless you're living in Bali, and then you can look like Isai over here and just do it up. But man, this guy has thin skin. He has just lines and lines and lines for days all throughout the body. It looks like the labyrinth, and you're trying to go through a maze on his back. That's how many detailed and almost muscle walls are stood up right there for you to figure it out. Hopefully you don't want to run into a Centurion or something like that and get your head chopped off. But you will get your head chopped off messing with Isai on that stage unless you come correct. And who's going to be on that stage? Ali Bilal is going to be on that stage, ladies and gentlemen. I'm talking about E. Banks himself, the resume. I'm talking about Francisco the Nightmare Martinez. Okay, Francisco the Nightmare Martinez. Edvan Palmera. What? What? I'm talking King of Brazil. I'm talking, of course, Isai. Who else is going to be on that stage? I'm missing 3 other big ass names.
Mate, there's
Paul.
one name that you missed.
Who?
Bonjour, mon frère.
Yo, Paul Gustave is gonna be at the New York Pro. Bonjour, mon frère. Okay, I'm talking croissants. I'm talking cafe. He's bringing it all. Okay, the barrettes. All right, Paul is no joke, and he is a sleeper. And he's working on his posing. The condition is going to be right. I mean, all these guys are coming to bring that drama for your mama. And I'm telling you, when you put the do-rag on, you know he's serious. All right, he's not playing games. He's coming to do work. That's jailhouse style right there. C block 15 right there. He's coming for you. All right,
Don't
better have his
drop the
cornbread.
soap. Don't
Let's
drop the soap.
Let's go. Don't drop the soap. Pause. Pause. But nah, this dude looks phenomenal. I mean, so many high caliber athletes are going to be in the show, and there's still names that are going on this list. I'm telling you, the only show that's probably going to be bigger than the New York Pro and the Pittsburgh, I mean, be up that caliber, New York Pro and Pittsburgh Pro. After that, it's going to be that Gold's Classic Gym show. I'm telling you. I'm not saying that just because we're going to be there. I'm saying that because of the production, the amount of money that's going to be there for the athletes is unparalleled, unbelievable. The amount of money that the last place winner is going to be able to get money. I mean, that's crazy unto itself. So it's attractive from a monetary perspective. It's the last show you can actually go into to qualify for the Olympia. In other words, if you've already got a win and you win this show, then you punch your ticket. So it's not a direct qualifier, but it does give you one more shot to qualify for the Olympia. And look, the amount of talent that's going to be there, the amount of sponsors that's going to be there. These 3 guys here on the show are going to be there. Okay. No way you don't want to be there. If you're an athlete, you're a pro men's physique or an NPC guy, if you don't show up to that show, hey, don't complain about money. Don't complain about opportunity. Don't complain about not being able to be visible to the public, because that is the platform that can catalyst and propel you into stardom. Let's go. What you got for Art?
Phil, Avomp, I want you to talk in Horde. Normally we don't do this, but since Indonesia only has really Muhammad Rifki, Chris Putra, Isai Kesek as pros, 2 of those guys are Olympians. Muhammad, if you don't know Muhammad Rifki, you need to subscribe because we will be talking about him later this year. There's one guy that I want to talk about who could be Indonesia's newest men's physique pro. And the reason I'm talking about him is because I personally know him when I was down in Bali spending time. Phil is going to be at his show, and apparently I'm hearing that he's going to upset a lot of Australians who think they're going to get their pro card. Talk about our boy Galang a little bit, Phil.
Man, I've met Galang as well when I was in Bali last year, and man, back then this guy was big. I knew that he was going to go for that pro card, like you said. You know, we've got Isai, we've got Muhammad Rifki. This guy could be the next guy that kind of takes stardom, takes Indonesian men's physique to the world. Now, I have been following the Australian circuit at the moment. We've got we've only got 2 pro show qualifiers throughout the year, one in season A and one in season C. Now, I've seen a lot of the guys that have been winning the overalls at the stage shows around here, and there's a lot of people who have their favorites. I mean, when you win the overall, you're going into this national show as one of the favorites. Now, the thing with Australia is there are a lot of dark horses. Because we are so close to Asia, and we're so close to the New Zealand competitors as well, a lot of guys find their way to Australia and they upset a lot of the Australian competitors. This is the next man that's going to do it. And it could be good that I'm talking about it, because a lot of people don't know that this guy will be on a plane in a couple weeks' time, standing on that stage in Melbourne, fighting for that pro card. This guy is going to shake it up. This guy has the size. This guy has the mass. This guy has the shape. This guy has the structure. If he just brings it all together, he nails the posing, there are a lot of people that are going to be upset. All I'm saying is that I'm going to be at the show. I'm going to see this guy in the flesh. I'm looking forward to having a chat with him. Hopefully, he does take home that pro card, because just take a look at that damn physique. Asians and Indonesians have a certain look about him. He looks like Isai Kesek. He's got the width. He's got look how full that upper chest is. Look at the guy in the back. He's probably thinking, I hope that's a guy. Is that a guy or a ghost? I'm just gonna.
Phil, you trying to get us canceled, dog?
No, I'm not saying nothing. But that person in the back, is probably thinking, God damn, how do I get arms like that? That's what I'm saying. What savor meals is he eating?
Way to save that.
Yeah, had to. What savor meals is he having? What's happening at that lighting at Obsidian? What's he doing? Man, this guy looks good. This guy's going to come in shape. This guy's hopefully comes in early enough where if there is very similar to what I said about Farouq flying over to the US, hopefully comes in early enough to just allow the body to de-stress. Fluid retention is able to kind of go, and this guy can go into the show and just really knock the socks off, or blow the roof off the Melbourne showgrounds over there. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. Hart, you've seen him in person. Let me ask you before we get into the next guy, what do you think about Galang?
The muscle's there, the tissue quality is there, the structure is there. It's just in terms of, is he going to be peaked properly because he looks like he's in condition, and then posing. Galang, if you do that, I think we're going to have our newest Indonesian pro, which is going to be really exciting. Let's move on though. Galang, good luck in your show. Kick some Aussie ass for us. The Gaffa, I'm going to throw it over to you. I want to talk about one guy on this page right here. You have the option to either talk about, because we only have one more topic after this, which is Ryan Terry. You have the option to talk about Aaron Banks' latest updates or Ju Shin Hee. Who would you like?
Well, that's a difficult one. I forgot to mention Ju Shin Hee will also be in the house at the Pittsburgh Pro, New York Pro. Oh my God, Mr. Statuesque himself. Wow. But let's go with Aaron Banks. And the reason why I want to go with Aaron Banks is because A, if you haven't seen it already, shame on you. Get on it. Aaron Banks' interview has dropped. The Men's Physique show has the Resume Banks interview live on YouTube. Why would you want to miss that? He drops gems in terms of how he works out, mindset, some of the new stardom blues that he had to deal with when he won that losing it again, and what that looked like. Him and his new lady Perla, they look phenomenal together. You see a lot of posts about them. So all I got to say is E. Banks is a special dude for a reason. And he's one of those guys that, you only see a guy like this come along only but, rare a couple of times. An athlete who looks like he could be a basketball player, a football player. He really could do anything. Now he's in the paddleball. I mean, he's got the athleticism and the genetics to do damn near anything. And he's in Men's Physique bodybuilding. And this is a dope reel that Avant made. Love this one, bro. It hits hard. It's dope. Look at the expression on his face when he wins. But anyway, E. Banks. E. Banks has done something a little different. He and Cuts, they got together. They said, hey, we're going to do something a little bit different this year. And instead of E coming in and having to scale down for the shows, okay, which is what we've been seeing. And he's done that because the criteria, what they said was, we want to see more muscle. We want to see more muscle. He puts more muscle on, but in order to have that muscle, it has to be able to stick, number one, and you lose a little bit when it's new muscle and you're going in and you're getting conditioned. So you're going to lose some of that muscle. They tried to get a good blend of what it was going to look like. Now he's growing into the show. Now he's gone underweight, so he's not over his cap, he's under his cap, and he's able to grow into the show, which is totally different. That's going to allow a guy like him who has thick skin, in order to really get the skin nice and thin. Like you hear stories about E. Banks going into the sauna a lot so that he can thin out the skin so that it can sit closer to the muscle fibers, right? Because he's now able to grow into the show, you're going to see that definition like he had back when he won the O and the year prior. You're going to see that Boston Pro look that E. Banks has. You're seeing it now. And I'm going to tell you, one thing that really shocked me, and he even said it himself in our interview, and he said it even recently, so did Cuts. You want to be 5 weeks out looking like you're almost ready to hit the stage in a couple of days. Like the guys on this level, like look at this, man. The guys on this level, they're looking like this weeks out. If you're like, oh man, I don't see my lines, I don't have this, XYZ, ABC, fill in the blank. and you're a week or two out of the show, you're 3 weeks out of the show, it's too late. Go pick another show, go in later. E. Banks is coming, and he's coming like the old E. Banks. I think right now he's locked in because he's got a woman in his corner. He's got money coming in from sponsorships. He's got a gym that he's building. He's got so much going on, and he's a family guy. I mean, you can't take your finger off the groove. You can't take your foot off the gas pedal. It's all gas, no brakes for E. Banks, and I like seeing what he's doing. And he's doing a lot of posts now. He's putting himself out there. He's letting everybody know, like, look, I'm front and center again. I'm not out here, with the drama, but I'm just gonna bring it, and I'm gonna show y'all how I'm bringing it. And I like to see this with E. So E, congratulations, man. Dope interview, one of the best for sure. Check it out. The Men's Physique Show, always bringing it to you. That's how we roll. What you think, Hart? Phil?
I'll take it. All I wanted to say is, man, the old E. Banks is back. I listened to a live stream that he was in today. I've listened to a couple of, even the interview that we
Go back for a second, Hart. Sorry about that, Phil. Go back to him eating. What was that?
It's eating. No, that's not him.
Okay, he just reposted that.
Hey,
that's actually the #1 natural men's physique podcast, giving us a shout out as they tune into the interview of Men's Physique. So shout out to Luke. Appreciate you, brother.
You know what, Luke? Respect for that, because my mum actually reached out to me today. I reshared that on my post. She goes, "Where are you?" I go, "What do you mean, where am I?" She goes, are you at a hotel? Are you traveling? What are you doing? I go, that's not my house. And I'm not traveling. That's some other guy that was watching our show. So, Luke, you've confused a lot of people. My mum thought it was me. Gaffer thought it was E-Banks. But, yeah, the dog in E-Banks is back. This guy's hungry to win. Like, he wants to get back on that stage. I mean, we saw what happened at the Olympia. I've said it over and over and over again. And I'm not going to keep saying it until I see E-Banks back on stage this year. But that wasn't the best version of E-Banks that we've ever seen. He still did well. Not the best version of E-Banks. I think he may have seen that. He may have gotten some feedback about that look. And he probably said to himself, I don't want to look like that ever again. So now he's coming for war. He's coming for redemption. He wants to show the world why he's an Olympia champion, why he's won the Pittsburgh Pro. And we want to see the old E-Banks. And based on what we're seeing right now, he's having a lot of fun with it. Yes, he's digging. Yes, he's training hard. Yes, he's putting in the work. Yes, he's doing everything. But he's having fun with it. I know he's moved. He's living with Perla now. I think he's in Texas. He's living in Texas, or he said he's a couple of hours away from Houston. Yeah. Man, he's doing his treadmill. He's doing his cardio. He's playing Pokemon Go. He's catching Pokemon. He's doing Candy Crush. He's doing everying to make it more enjoyable. It's gone.
Look at his waist.
His waist is gone, man.
Cut said this is the smallest his waist has ever been. By the way,
yeah,
that's what Cut said.
And I believe it. We know he's got one of the most dominant backs in the game, if not the best back in the game. And if this is what we're seeing 3 weeks out from the New York Pro, 4 weeks out from the Pittsburgh, number one, how much smaller is that waist going to get? How much more detailed is that back going to get? Like, I love that comment. I'm sorry for your loss, bro. Rest in peace. Your waist.
Comment, bro.
And you know what? It's accurate. It's accurate. That waist is invisible. It's gone. There you go. Thing disappeared. So E-Banks, I can't wait to see this guy back on stage. And man, what a competition it's going to be. New York Pro, him, Ali, Edvan, everyone that we mentioned earlier today. Man, it's going to be a battle.
Jushan. Boys, when we see this, one thing, I might not be eating popcorn. I might have these cookies. I'm not going to lie to you. These cookies are so freaking good. I'm going to be eating cookies instead of popcorn watching the show. So let's go.
Last guy. And the show will be over. If you've made it this far into this video, you are a true Horde member, and we love you and we appreciate you. We truly, truly do. We see every comment and everyone who supports us. It means the world. We're only 5-6 months into this. 20K subs. We're the leading men's physique YouTube channel in the world. Social media. No one gets to 5 to 10 million views a week that we do. And that's because you guys help push. So please like, please comment. Share this video. Let's talk about Ali Bilal working with the real technician. This is the last post of the day. We're going to talk about, we are, 4 weeks out of the Pittsburgh Pro. Ali Bilal. Do you think there's a chance he's going to hop into the New York Pro just because he stays so ready? What do you guys think?
Is he doing? I thought he's doing the New York Pro.
I think he
doing
is.
Both of them?
I think he's doing both.
He's going to do both. Yeah.
That would make sense to me. Okay.
Yeah, if he didn't, the only rationale I could think of would be because he already won it, and he's like, I don't need to do that show. I want to go for the Pittsburgh. But did he ever win a Pittsburgh Pro? No, right? Okay, I didn't think so. But I mean, the Blade. the Afghan blade. He is when you talk about controlling what you can control, that's Ali Bilal. Ali Bilal is not the most genetically gifted people like Aaron Banks, let's say, who just was, blessed with the genetics. This guy works at it. This guy's worked at this look. He's worked and put in.
Just to interrupt Gaffa, which I don't like doing, boys. We've had head judges who I will not name in the IFBB Pro League literally call Ali Bilal SpongeBob SquarePants because his waist is so blocky. So when Aleem says Ali Bilal is a master at controlling what he can control, that is why. That's how good Ali Bilal is. Go ahead, Gaffa.
Facts. I'm glad you jumped in there. That's how we do, like a tag team in the WWE. That's how we roll. But his waist is not as small as E Banks, and yet he's shorter. So what does he do? He has the dexterity to be able to contour and adjust his waist and bring in and suck in the waist through vacuum posing and isometric holds, where he can literally control his waist the entire time on stage and never let it out. Never let his waist come out. Which is like, if I saw him against Vitor Chavez, and we love Vitor. Vitor is an incredible athlete. He looks amazing. The V-taper himself. But one of the knocks to Vitor is the breathing in the stomach, in and out of the stomach occasionally, especially as they pose longer and longer in comparisons. Ali Bilal never has that issue. He is the master of the tan. All right, so that's number one. He's going to come in, his tan is going to pop like nobody else's. Why? Because the dishwasher soap that he uses and how he gets down. Look how beautiful his tan looks. It looks perfect, bro. It looks perfect. It accentuates all of his muscles, all the lines, all the detail perfectly. Then his posing. He controls his posing. He controls his tan. He controls how much muscle he can put on his physique. He listens to the judges. He's been building up his back, and he just hides his weaknesses. Doesn't have the longest arms in the world. E Banks has like way longer arms. So you got to pose different. You got to understand where your strengths are and go towards your strengths. And if you can't get your weaknesses up to become strengths in the allotted time that you have, you got to ditch it and go on with your strengths. Because again, it's about what the judges see on the stage. They're not looking at you by yourself with the perfect lighting in the gym and judging you. That's not what they're doing. They're seeing you on that stage at that time against other athletes and what you're showing against what they're showing. And are you dominating in the front pose, in the back pose, in the conditioning, in the tan, in the stage presence? Are you that him, or are you not him? And that becomes the question. And Ali Bilal always goes in knowing that he's him because he's put the work into himself. Again, not the most genetically blessed. However, he's blessed with a strong will and a strong mind. The guy crossed 14 countries on barefoot. Saw his dad pass away in front of him from a sniper. You tell me he's not mentally tough? You tell me he's nervous about this opportunity? He lives for it. This is nothing compared to what he had to endure. So, Ali Bilal, can't wait to see him, man. What you got, Phil?
The one thing that I'm excited to see is the back, because we all know that Ali's back was the part that let him down. Now, he has hinted that the back has improved. He has shown that the back has gotten better. But Instagram is one thing. The stage is something completely different. And, I've heard it before that the back's been better, and then we saw it on stage and it was the same back. There may have been slight improvements, but it was nowhere near the improvements that Ryan Terry made in that 1 year alone. So hopefully he's been able to put in the work and really bring that back up. Like I said, the photos show that he has made improvements. But when you're depleted come the end of prep, when you lower body fat, calories are at its lowest point, cardio is at its highest point, when you're really digging towards the tail end of a prep, hopefully he's done enough within the last couple of months to hold what he has got. And, hopefully there is muscle under there to stand up against the likes of some of the best backs in the world. We know Erin's going to be on that stage. We know Kyron Holden is going to be on that stage. Uncrowned Mr. O. We know there's a lot of good backs that are going to be on that stage. So hopefully he's made the improvements in the last couple of months to stand toe to toe with some of these heavy hitters, but even more so has done enough to obviously get to the Olympia stage at the end of the year and put up a big fight against the likes of Ryan Terry. Hart, what do you think about Ali seeing these photos?
Dude, I'm going to tell you guys how important the core is in men's physique, because I don't know how else to explain it. I've been I think I really started to prioritize talking about the core maybe a couple years ago, but I want to ask you guys a question. If Ali Bilal didn't have the core that he does and he had a C plus core, no one would be talking about Ali Bilal. Because when we think about Ali Bilal, I have never heard anyone say Ali Bilal has the best chest, Ali Bilal has the best shoulders and arms, Ali Bilal has the best back, the best legs. When people talk about Ali Bilal, 99% of the time, they talk about how great his obliques are, his core is, and that midsection. So without the core, Ali Bilal is not second in the world. That's how important the core is. So when I think about guys who could possibly beat him at the New York Pro and Pittsburgh Pro, I think about Chiron. Chiron has everything going for him. It's about Chiron's core. Can he bring in a tight core? Can Aaron Banks bring in a tight, polished core? Because one thing we know about Ali Bilal, he is never missing on the core. He is never missing on the midsection. Men's physique, everything stems from the midsection, and it almost, you can have a B plus, a B shoulders, B arms, C plus back, but your core, your midsection is an A plus. You're second in the world. That's how important the midsection is. That's what I think.
Brandon Hendrickson.
That's for real, by the way. I just did a reel, by the way. I'm showing it.
Literally, Brandon Hendrickson, right? Ali Bilal. I mean, case point, right? Wow. Ali Bilal's side obliques, his serratus, his intercostals are so etched. You could put mountain goats on those, and they're like climbing. You know how like they have the ridges off the mountain like that, and they only have enough room for the goat to just stand and make their way up the mountain. Like that's what he's got going on, bro. That's how crisp he is, and how the striations just go bananas over there. So wow, Ali Bilal, man, can't say enough great things about the guy. If he had Carlos Ocron's back,
Ryan Terry would be
exactly
like yo, and you can make the same claim about Brandon Hendrickson. I mean, you're talking about guys whose fronts are so impressive, and that's why the standard is the standard. And we're talking about Ryan Terry right now. That's why he's the standard, bro, because he's one of the few guys that have the front that's like the delts go crazy, the chest looks great, it's balanced and proportioned, he's got the abs and all. Maybe not as tight of a core as Ali Bilal, slightly, but it's damn straight up there in competitive for sure. But when he turns to the back, that's when he separates himself from the next number 2, number 3. So you know that I'm number 2, I'm number 3. I'm like, oh, that's all I got to do? Say less. And I live and breathe back. Everything is back. Like I got Michael J. Fox back in the time. I'm watching Back to the Future. Everything about me is back. You know, I'm watching the Terminator. I'll be back. Everything is back for me. And then I'm showing up and I'm showing out. So that's my humble opinion.
You know what these guys might need to do? You guys seen what Ryan Terry's been doing lately?
What's that?
He's pushing online coaching. I think he's taking on clients to do online coaching. Yeah. So who knows? Maybe some of these IFBB pros might have to inquire and figure out what secrets he did in that 1 year to grow that back.
Bro, why don't they just reach out to Physique and holler at you? Why would they not just do that?
That's what I'll segue into. But you beat
me. Speaking of which, they can do that next week, Wednesday, 9:15 Eastern Standard Time, 7:15 Pacific Time. The boys from the Men's Physique Show will be on ProSeek. We're going to put the link down below. If you have questions, only 100 people. We're only taking 100 people, so it's going to go super fast when we open it up. It is free. It's amateurs. It's pros. Whoever wants to get Q&As or get their physique looked at, they want to get tips. You want us to see you and put eyes on you and help structure your posing, talk about diet, talk about mentality, anything you want. Tanning, we're there, okay? We're going to be there. So we'll put the link down below. It's your opportunity to talk directly to us live, and we're going to shoot straight with you. So, it's constructive criticism. It's coming from love, and, we just want you to be better because steel sharpens steel. And the better you guys are, the better the division is, the better it grows, and it becomes a household name. And that's the ultimate goal for us. So Let's go.
I hope the community, I hope you guys heard that, because the amount of DMs between the three of us that we get each week on guys asking, begging for us to help them out with their posing, what they need to work on with their physique, with the diet, like everything, we lose track and we can't get to all of you guys. So please be there. Please be on Physique. Please be on that Q&A. We'll probably put up a reel from what we just did here, share it with Sai, collab it so more people can hear it.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to it. I mean, you see what we do in, day out, week in, week out. We're dropping that many reels about the pros and stuff, but now it's your opportunity. You don't need to be a pro. You can be an NPC guy. You can be someone who is an amateur who's never done their first show and wants to know where they stand within the division. Make sure, go to the link in the description below. Head to our IG stories. Head to our IG. Reach out if you want more answers or more questions answered by us, and we'll be more than happy to reach out. But while we're on the topic, massive thank you to all the guys that are powering the show: Manifest Board Shorts, Physique Fitness, Physique, Huge Supplements, Kippy, and Dr. Campbell over there at the Center of Wellness and Pain Care. Discount codes are all down below. Links to all their information is all down below as well. And last but not least, if you're here, you made it to the end of the episode, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Can you take a step back, please? You're confusing me. Make sure to also tap the bell icon so you're one of the first to see every episode that goes live. And guys, we have a big interview, I should say, dropping next week. And I'm telling you, when I say big...
Well, this Friday, we have a big episode dropping.
This Friday?
Yeah.
Well, even
and
more
we have
of a
another
reason.
one next week.
Even more. Can someone control this guy? We got to get someone to control this guy. I don't know what the hell's in the Thai air at the moment, but make sure to subscribe, make sure to like, make sure to hit the bell icon. I've lost it all, guys. Take a screenshot of this episode. QR code. I don't know. Hart changed it. It was at the top corner last week, and then it was down the bottom. So there's a QR code somewhere. Scan the QR code, upload it to your Instagram story, tag the Men's Physique Show official, Hart McGrath, Phillipe Naselli, Aline Bolton, and we'll reshare that to our story. And guys, other than that one, enjoy the rest of the morning, the night, the evening, whatever time you're watching this, and we'll see you in the next one.
Peace.
Bye. Get some more water on your heart.